this morning's Health Watch, a miracle mom. Back in 2008, Stefania DeMayo had a heart transplant, and last December she became the first ever transplant patient to give birth to twins, and that was made possible by Andrew and Gail Clegg, a couple who had suffered a terrible loss. They are all here this morning. Stefania and her husband Richard DeMayo as well, Stefania's cardiologist, Dr. David Barron, and most notably, the most beautiful little 4-month-old twin girls who are waking up from their nap, Melania and Natalia. Welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Stefania, let's start from the beginning. You had this rare heart condition.
Yes.
You got pregnant despite it.
Yes.
But then you got some terrible news on your honeymoon. What was that?
It wasn't really on our honeymoon, it's when we got home.
When you got home from your honeymoon?
That we found out that I had some problem with my heart, but we just didn't know what it was. So I got transferred from hospital to hospital until I ended up at North Beth Israel. And I found out, unfortunately, I would not be able to carry the pregnancy.
So you made the very difficult decision to abort the baby,
yes,
to save your life.
Absolutely.
Richard, where did you go from there? Did you feel like life was over?
Yeah, it was very difficult. It was very difficult for my wife, but thank God we were surrounded by great doctors and family, and everybody was praying, and we got through it. We really did. We got through it, and it was a good journey, a long journey, but it was a good one.
You got through it because you went to see Dr. Barron, and he told you what, Stefania?
Well, we finally found out after 2 years that I had a rare restricted cardiomyopathy, and he told me the only way to attempt to have a child was to have a heart transplant. So I was all for it.
And so just as you got this hopeful, encouraging news that if you got a transplant, you might be able to not only save your life but have children, the Cleggs, Andrew and Gail, were going through something horrible in their lives. I know this is tough, so
That's okay.
So thank you. Gail, tell us what was happening with your son, Sean.
Sean was riding his bike home for dinner with his brother and friends, and his friend and his brother came home to tell us he'd been hit by a car. It was about a block from our house.
Sean was 14?
He was 9 days away from his 15th birthday. So we got to the accident scene because it was close to our house, and they airlifted him to Cooper Hospital, the trauma center. And they tried to do what they could, but his head injuries were very severe. So my husband and I made a decision that we wanted to be an organ donor. So we had to wait because he had to be declared brain dead at the time, which is a long process.
You remember, Andrew, the moment that you and Gail came to that decision?
I think it's when we went outside after they told us what was inevitable. We took a walk outside of the hospital, and her girlfriend, who was a nurse there, kind of explained it to us in simpler terms. Doctors use the big words, and kind of told us, kind of alerted us to maybe doing the organ donation, and we just kind of looked at each other and said, that's what Sean would want to do, so.
And how did you get hooked up with the DeMayos?
About within 2 weeks after Sean passed away, I received a letter from Stefania. I received a couple letters, one from Stefania and one from one of the other recipients, and I was getting ready to meet the third because she was a friend of the family's. And it took me a few months to write her back because it was just a busy time.
Yeah.
And I wrote her back, and then we talked on the phone, and then we met them a few months later.
And then she got Sean's heart, Dr. Barron, when this happened, and then later she became pregnant with twins. How remarkable was that?
This is really a remarkable story. There are only 39 other reported women to have a baby after a transplant. In a variety of ways, there's risks of developing rejection during pregnancy, developing heart failure from the load, especially of twins, and also tremendous concern about birth defects because of all the drugs that most patients take.
She defied all of those odds.
Amazing, defied all the odds.
So Sean, Stefania, gave you not only the gift of life, but the gift of your 2 daughters. What would you like to say to the Cleggs?
That we love them, and they're very special to us in every way, and they will play a role of grandparents to our beautiful girls, and they're welcome at our home like it's their own home. And we truly thank them, and thank you is not enough.
And Gail, you see Sean in these babies?
Oh yeah, he was a good baby, so I think they get a lot of that from him. Maybe he's watching out for them. I think.
Yeah.
I really think he is.
Oh, God bless you all. What a spectacular story. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Aaron. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
A lot happens early on The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.